In this example, f of xy equals x to the fourth times e to the power of the product x times y. Our goal is to find the partial derivative with respect to x and the partial derivative with respect to y of the given function. When we find the partial derivative with respect to x, we are going to treat y as a constant term. That means for the part of the e to the power x times y will be treated as a constant multiple. And at the same time, since this is a product involving the x term, so we're going to use the product rule. If you recall the product rule, when you find the product, the derivative of the product of f times g, you're going to have the f times g prime plus the f prime times g. In this case, if you treat the first piece as the f, the second piece as a g, and then the derivative using the product form, which is f, which is x to the fourth, times g prime. Recall this is with respect to x, so the g prime gonna be the partial derivative with respect to x of e to the x times y, and then plus the f prime, which is a 4x to the third, and multiplied by the g, which is e to the xy. And then for the derivative of e to the xy, we call the y will be treated as a constant. So this is just the e to the power of x multiplied by the number, the constant. So this is going to be the e to the xy multiplied by the derivative of xy, where y is treated as a constant. And we're going to have e to the xy times y. So for this case, partial derivative with respect to x, we are going to get x to the fourth times e to the xy times y plus 4 x to the third e to the xy. And we can write in the better form as f subscript x equals x to the fourth times y times e to the xy plus 4 x to the third e to the xy. And next, we're going to find the partial derivative with respect to y. Partial with respect to y of x to the fourth e to the x times y. When you find the derivative with respect to y, the target is the one that involving y. So wherever you see x, you're going to treat it as a constant. That means this is going to be treated as a constant multiple x to the fourth times e to the xy. We have, I'm going to highlight this or write the note here. X to the fourth here is treated as a constant. So the derivative of this can be x to the fourth times the partial derivative with respect to y of e to the xy. And x is treated as a constant. This part we're gonna use the chain rule, which is e to the xy multiplied by the partial derivative with respect to y of x times y, or e to the xy times, since you do the derivative with respect to y, x is treated as a constant, so going to be multiplied by x. Therefore, the partial derivative with respect to y is x to the fourth times e to the xy times x, and write in the simplified form or in the shorter notation as f subscript y equals x to the fourth, and x becomes x to the fifth times e to the xy.